Hey, this is Victor Antonio, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Sales, where you and we just talk about sales. No fluff, no hyperbole, no hype, just a conversation. Now, today I want to talk about, right now we're living during very tough times, right? In other words, a lot of us are quarantined because of this COVID-19. And so a lot of us are asking ourselves a question, what do you do in this time? What do you do? And so I think it's time to really think about things that maybe kind of rethink, retool, and redirect. But I want to take a step back. Many of you have read the book by Stephen Covey. Remember that one, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? It came out like 30 years ago, but still a classic, still a great book. And in there, it talked about the circle of concern and the circle of influence. And there's basically a simple model, looks like a donut, right? On the outside ring are things you can control. Now, let's look at that. What can't we control? Well, we can't control a virus that's running rampant through the nation and the world. We can't control the markets. We can't control what government does, really. We can't control regulations or policies. We can't control, again, the ups and downs, the volatility of the market. And so there's a lot of things we simply can't control. And what I loved about what was in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People was that he said, let's not focus on the outside circle, focus on the hole in the middle, like the donut right in the middle, and ask yourself, what are things that you can control? Now, this is a great lesson, not only for your personal life, but also for selling, because we have to ask ourselves that question. In selling, there's certain things we can't control. We can't control the customer. We can't control their budget. We can't control what's going on in the market. We can't control their specifications sometimes. We just can't control what they're doing. But we can control 3 things. There's 3 things we always guarantee we can control, and let's go through them. The first one is you can control your attitude, which is your outlook on how this world looks to you. Now, it's easy to go negative. It's too easy to go negative. There's so many reasons to go negative, but why go down that road? The reality is that we really don't have it that bad, right? Look at all the upside we get from living in this great country. So my thought is always an attitude of gratitude is, let's look at the glass half full. Hate to use that cliche, but there it is. But I'm always asking myself, what can I control? What can I do? That's my attitude. I'm always in the hunt mode. By hunt, I mean I'm hunting for things I can do, looking for things that I know I can actually achieve. So that's the second thing. What activities can you perform? Like anything else, your attitude will drive your behavior. Behavior is activity. So if you have the right attitude, it'll drive the right behaviors. If you start thinking positive, like, look, stuff's bad, I get it, I can't control that, but I love the but because it negates the first part. But what can I do? What is within my power to do? So what activities are in your power to do? What things can you do today to actually take advantage, if I can say it that way, of a bad situation? Look, tough times don't last. Tough people do. So let's be tough. In other words, let's do the behaviors. Let's do the activities. My question to you again is, what do you need to do? For example, for me, right now, as a speaker/trainer, many of my events have been canceled, totally wiped off the map, which means income gone, right? Now, I have a backup plan, which means I have an online sales training platform. You know it, the Sales Velocity Academy. That's still generating passive income. What's the lesson? Never put all your eggs in one basket. So I have 3 baskets: speaking, coaching, and the online platform, right? Speaking, coaching, the online platform. The speaking one is taking a hit right now, but the other 2 are doing pretty good. So there's one lesson. So in the meantime, what can I do? Nobody's hiring me to speak. Well, I ask myself, what can I do? I can go negative about what's happening, but that's not going to help me. But I ask myself, what activities, what behaviors can I do? And I'm doing now, I'm recording this video now, that's an activity. Also, I'm asking myself, maybe I can develop new content for my academy and just build around that. Just keep adding more content. I can do that. That's within my control. I can also reach out to existing clients to simply ask them, hey man, how's it going? How are you hanging in there? Is there anything I can do? Right? That is within my control. Now, I'm not trying to close deals or sell anything. I just want to see how my customers are doing, because now's not the time to sell hard. Now's the time to sympathize, if not empathize hard. In other words, connect with your customers. So you can do that. That's within your control. That's an activity you can do. Now, maybe there are some things you should be doing, like learning new skills, or maybe learning how to use new tools. That is within your control. Let's focus on that as well. You see what I mean? There's so many things we can do. The last part, first is attitude, second is activities, and the third one is allocation. And the allocation, I break it up into 2 categories. How are you allocating your time and how are you allocating your resources? Let's walk through it. On the time part, as you're thinking about the activities you want done, how are you allocating your time? How much time are you giving to, let's say in my case, creating new content? How much time are you giving to reaching out to new customers? How much time are you giving yourself to, let's say, read some new stuff, learn some new skill sets, new material? Allocate the time. Then ask yourself, what resources do I have? Many years ago, I heard a guy said, it's not what you do with what you don't have, it's what you do with what you do have. Let me say that again. It's not what you do with what you don't have. It's what you do with what you do have that matters. So what do you have? What resources do you have? What resources do you need to acquire to become better? Because this economy, here comes the attitude piece, is going to turn around. Sooner or later, this thing is going to turn around. So let's keep that in mind. It's going to turn around. So now's the time to develop the skill sets, the tool sets, and even the mindset to be successful when this thing does turn around. So again, 1, control the mindset. It'll turn around. Things get positive. We'll be back to where we're at, if not better. 2, what activities can I do to act that are within my control that will position me better for the future? Third part is allocation. How am I allocating my time? Maybe I should do a little time management, get more done. And also, look at my existing resources. How can I leverage them? Or what other resources, tools do I need to be better at my job? Again, that's a different shift in perspective. These are things you can control. Now, let's talk about reaching out to your customers. Because again, if we're in sales, we got to sell. Now, as you're reaching out to your customers, don't reach out to sell. Listen to me. Don't reach out to sell. What I want you to do is reach out to empathize. Ask them, how's it going? What are you going through? And they're going to tell you, say, this is what's going on. And again, as you're listening to them, maybe they'll give you some insight and maybe something will resonate with you. Says, you know what, I think I can help you here. For example, let's say the customer's trying to reduce cost, right? That's one of their goals is to reduce cost. Tough times, people want to reduce costs. So how can you help them do that? And then how can you help them do it in an effective way? For example, I've had customers in the past who I know wanted to reduce their costs, but they didn't have the cash flow. So what I did is I set up some type of leasing program for my telecommunications equipment and found a way so they can pay a little bit now, almost like a balloon payment, and as the economy got better, they can pay more later on. Now, initially, I didn't make a lot of money, but over time, guess what? The payments did kick in, and they remembered that I was there to help them to try to solve their problems. My question to you is, if you're reaching out to your customers, are you trying to help them? Don't sell them. Try to empathize and say, how can I help you? And I wrote some other notes here. If you're trying to, let's say they're trying to increase their revenue. Let's say that's something they're trying to do. They're trying to increase their revenue. Again, how can you help them in the short term? Because they're looking for cash flow. How can you help them? For example, I have a new book coming out. I'm going to delay it another month, but it's all about upselling. Selling to your existing customer base. Now, let's say that I had that book out already, had a training program around it. I'd be like, look, I got something for you. This is going to help you sell to your existing customer base. It'll reduce your costs because you don't have to go out and find new customers, and it'll redirect your salespeople's attention, and you'll be able to sell more to your existing customer base, which is probably easy money today, so to speak. Now, again, I'm oversimplifying, but you get the idea. I'm looking for ways to try to help. Maybe there isn't a way I can't help. Maybe I just don't have what they need at this time to help, but I still can extend a helping hand. What can I do? And if anything, I can just listen to them. And that's all we're trying to do sometimes is just connect with people. So if you're listening to this or watching this, ask yourself, first of all, let's look at yourself. What can you control in this environment? Your attitude, your activities, and how to allocate your time and your resources. And then look outward and say, how can I help my customers? How can I first empathize with them to try to understand what they're going through? And if there are places that I can help them, maybe present something. But if I can't, at least be there to listen, because again, this market will turn around. Things will get better again, as they always do. And wouldn't it be nice that if down the road your customer looks at you and says, you know what? Victor was there for me. When I needed him, when I was in that situation, I was in the hole, when things weren't going well, he offered me his help. And again, maybe it's giving away something for free. I don't know. Find something to help your customers. Again, it's an investment today to help them get over the hump, our hump, and in the long run, they'll look back and say, hey, you helped me. Maybe it's now time to reciprocate. And all we're trying to do is connect. Now, don't do it with the intention of trying to get something. That's the wrong intention. Do it with the intention of trying to help. And if it comes back to you, positive karma, it's all good. If it doesn't, that's okay. But being able to reach out to your customers without any intention of selling puts you in a better position and you feel better about yourself. And again, all you're trying to do is reach out and help and let the customer know that you're there. And that's it for this Let's Talk Sales. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're going through. I look forward to hearing from you. This is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, selling ain't hard when you know how. Take care.